failure is a blessing. Tony Robbins says it best. Problems are our gifts that we grow from,
Yeah.
right? We have to look at problems and failures as growth opportunities, not as a statement of our worth.
Welcome to the Sales Made Simple podcast. This podcast is dedicated to helping overwhelmed outdoor living professionals, landscapers, and hardscapers just like you increase your closing rate to over 75% without doubling your workload so you can build a seven-figure business that doesn't need you. I'm your host, Joshua Gillow. Let's dig in. Hello, everybody. This is an excerpt from an interview I did with Savannah Gresham over at Mill Creek Marketing. Enjoy.
Rewrite what failure means. I love that. Can you speak on that a little bit? Like,
Absolutely.
How do you view failure within your business and within sales in particular?
Man, the way I did view failure in the past was it would take me out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I failed, and especially in front of other people, like my father, my brother in the first business or a client or something, I would feel like I was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would inside, not outside, you'd never hear it outside, but inside my head, I would be just beating the heck out of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be thinking, man, you're an imposter. Why would anybody hire you, this farm boy from Pennsylvania? Like, you didn't go to school for this. You don't have a degree. You're not, like, all of this negative voice. Again, I was completely unaware that that was going on back then,
Right.
but I just felt bad. Like, I would beat myself up. Like I said, I would turn to things like alcohol or whatever to try to numb the pain because I just didn't want to live with reality at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've learned over and over and watching people, eventually having mentors in my life and having them guide me because they're further down the path than I was. So if you're going to find a mentor, find somebody that's already doing what you want to do and go hang out with them, suck their brain dry, watch what they do, see how they manage failure. Because I run 9 companies now, Savannah. I don't say that to impress anybody. I say that to impress upon the audience that if I didn't manage this whole failure thing, there's no way that even one would work.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way. Failure is a blessing. Tony Robbins says it best. Problems are our gifts that we grow from.
Yeah.
Right? We have to look at problems and failures as growth opportunities, not as a statement of our worth.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right? So we have to. So the listener out there, thank you for asking that question, because failure is something that if we don't get it right in our story in our head, that I don't care what you do after in strategy, you're not going to get anywhere with it. If you're constantly bombarded by that negative mindset that's coming into it. And the thing is that if you're listening, guys, and you're like, man, I got that voice too. We all do. 8 billion people on this planet. We all have it. You are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has the saboteur that's trying to steal your lunch money every day.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the sage too. The question is, which one are you feeding?
Right. Yeah.
Negativity of the world or the positive of the way you want to see the future?
Mm-hmm.
That is a choice you will make every single day in your business, personal life, and the rest of your existence here is whether I'm going to take the green pill or the red pill or the blue pill. Like, what am I going to take? The hatred of the world, or am I going to see the goodness there? That is a choice that is made every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if failure means I failed and it's a statement of my worth, then you're stuck. You either stay where you are or go back.
Unsolvable problem.
Exactly. But if failure, we have one of our core values is opportunity mindset. And one of the explanations of that is failure is feedback. If you treat failure as feedback, oh, okay, I failed, we failed, something here failed. What went wrong exactly? Why? What do we need to do to make sure this doesn't happen again? Or is there a system that doesn't exist right now that we need to create? Or did we have a system and that system failed and now it needs to be strengthened? So my team and I all the time are like, well, opportunity mindset, that won't happen again. Now we have a whole SOP around this. Like, we messed that up once and we don't need to keep messing it up 80 times because we treat failure as feedback and it's an opportunity to grow, exactly like you're saying.
100%. Now, next step with this one is sometimes as owners, we get stuck in procrastination. We've got a big decision to make and we keep kicking the can. We keep putting that email in flagged. We'll get to it later. We keep thinking that client, they're not really happy, but I don't want to deal with that right now. Procrastination, right? That's another thing because we don't want to face something. Most people in general don't want to face confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
We avoid it in any way we possibly can.
Yeah.
And we'll do it through, some people do it through lying and cheating. Other people don't want to do face-to-face, so they'll text or email because it's a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, listeners out there, the best way to manage any kind of conflict, face-to-face.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got an issue with somebody or you have a client that's being irate about something, you want to change the game quickly, specifically from the sales side. Go
Right.
out and meet with them face to face. Be a man or woman and stand up in front. And here's your first question you ask them. When you walk up, no matter how much you know about the situation, trust me, I've learned this the hard way. No matter what you know about the situation, if you have a client that is just fuming, I'll be out there in 20 minutes. I'll meet you at 4 o'clock, whatever works. You get there, and the first thing you ask them is you say, can you tell me what's on your mind?
Yes. Yep.
Let them communicate first. Do not go in there with your dukes up. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. You're all locked and loaded. No, you need to walk into it and let them, because you know the funny part, and I've made this mistake, Savannah. Go in there. I had clients over the years because not everyone is happy. If you want everyone to be happy, sell ice cream. That's not how it works here in the real world.
And I've
So,
sold ice cream, and they're not all happy. I used to work at here. So,
but when you go in with that mindset, okay, you're curious. You're a detective trying to figure out the case. What you think you know is what you think you know. What is actually going on is a whole different level. So we have to come in curious. And when we do, we take the guard down. And you'd be surprised how much faster conflicts can be dissolved when you know that, when you know that ahead of time. So I've gone into situations where I'm like, oh crap. I had one situation where this client, it was a husband-wife team. We did all this work, pool, deck, patio, hot tub, all this kind of stuff in the backyard, patio, everything. It was an amazing little space.
Yeah.
And the husband didn't want to be part of any of the communication. Everything went through the wife. And I was like, all right, well, if that's your dynamic, I'm not here to judge that, whatever. If that works for you, he's busy. They're both optometrists. And so they're all busy. And I'm like, that's fine. We get about 3/4 of the way through the project. And all of a sudden I hear from him. I didn't know he had a voice. I hear from him and he's like, hey, I got a big problem. And I'm like, okay. You see your wife communicates through it. You know what? You put in this hot tub in our deck and you put a TV on the wall, which is great. And over the roof and all that stuff. But you know what? You put the hot tub in the wrong way. And I'm like, can you tell me what the wrong way means? Because I'm not going to assume I know, because assumption will make an ass out of both of us, right? So I'm like, so what do you mean by that? And it, like, well, when I watch the game, when I watch my Phillies game, I want to be able to sit in a lounge chair in the hot tub and look at it that way. And through our entire design process, this never came up. He was never there. And all of a sudden now we've got a $10,000 hot tub sunk in a 30,000 foot or $30,000 deck. And it's all encapsulated. Like, what are you going to do now? So they called and she called me, he called too, but they were together on the phone. And she's like, well, you're going to get the saucy Sicilian come out of me now. I've been nice so far, but you better make this right. Like totally, just completely bonkers. And I'm like, okay, I have a choice to make now. I can either say, you're effing wrong. We never did this before. You're going to pay more for this, and put a wall up immediately.
Yeah.
That's an option. That's option A. Option B is say, no problem. I'll send somebody out to fix it. Hide. Or option C is to be like, hey, when are you both available? That fits with my schedule. I can come out and we'll actually walk through this. That's what we did. C. Walked out there. They both stood in the front lawn fuming because they had to get their energy back. Because people can only be pissed for so long. Let's be honest, right? It's only it's an emotional boost, right? It's like this little adrenaline boost. So once they're on the phone, like they're telephone tough guys, once you get face to face, most people turn into kittens, right? They put on the face, here's my claws, and they just disappear after that. They don't like conflict either. So anyway, get to their front yard, walk up, and I was like, you know what? This is the first time I tried this. I was like, you know what? I know enough about the situation that I could just knock them over with this, or I could be curious. I'm a curious creature by nature. So I was like, so guys, thank you for calling me out here. Take their power. Thank you for calling me out here so we can get this understood. Tell me what's on your mind. What's on your heart? And they went blah, 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 down through them. But eventually by the end, yes, it was the hot tub, but it was also that he was never part of any of the emails and he felt completely isolated, even though he requested that. People are irrational creatures. We don't, we can't possibly know what they're going to do next. So what did we do, to your point, and failure from the conversation earlier, is I could have seen that as a failure. But I said, no. Like, to your point, it's feedback. Good. So what system can we set up now that this never becomes a problem again? So it's like from that day on, every single correspondence to her in the situation would be to her and him. Even if he didn't communicate, it's okay. Every email gets both decision makers, regardless of who integrates and communicates. And same with texts. Every text thread that we set up with our customers have all the decision makers in them. And they can just ignore it. It's fine, but they will always be included. And ever since then, we haven't had that problem again, exactly like that. But again, is it failure? or is it an opportunity to learn? Is
Exactly.
this a problem that it's a gift we can grow from? Or is it a failure because I wasn't there to put that hot tub in the way that this guy thought about it and never
Mhm.
told me about, and I'm just supposed to read his mind?
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
no,
fun
that's so
stuff,
good.
right?
Yeah, we use the framework. This from my business coach: clarify, probe, challenge. You don't start with challenge. First, you
Hmm.
need to get clear on what they're even saying and why. Because
Yep.
every time I clarify, I learn something, and I go, "Oh,
Yep.
that's not why I thought you did that. That's really interesting." Or, "Oh, I can actually see from your
Yep.
perspective."
Yep.
Like me, that makes no sense. With having the knowledge that I have, but with the lack of knowledge that you have about this thing, it does make sense to you. And then it's probe. Let me dig a little deeper. What do you mean by that? Oh,
Yep.
when you say wrong, what does wrong mean to you? I just want to make sure we're operating on
Yes.
the same
Yes.
definition here. And then it's the challenge where, yeah, they felt heard, they felt validated, and you can say, gosh, yeah, I could see how you would feel isolated from that. And then the challenge is better received when it's, well, to be honest, you did mention you didn't want to be involved in the communication. I'm so sorry that we didn't include you. I thought you didn't, I thought that was going to frustrate you, but from here on out, what we'll do is this. Does that sound, like it brings their guard down. But if you start defensive,
Yes.
they're gonna be defensive too.
And most people see it as like you're sitting in a boxing ring and one guy wants to kill the other guy. Like that's not
Yeah.
what this is. We have to, back to our stories, we've got to rewire what this means.
Mhm,
This is an
mhm.
opportunity, to your point, for clarity.
Yeah.
But if we come in, specifically the guys out there I'm speaking to right now, if we come in knowing what's going on, too proud to ask questions,
Mhm.
too proud to clarify, because I already got an earful from her earlier. Like, who does this not nice woman think she is to
Uh-huh.
be calling me and telling me this? I'm a busy man doing all ego gets in place, all that.
Yeah,
But you know what? All that does is just fan the fire. And what we're trying
exactly.
to do is put the fire out and move on.
And build
It's not
trust.
about who's right and who's huge, but
Yeah.
it's not about who's right and wrong at that point. It's not a direct insult to your ego. This
Yeah.
is an opportunity for you to stand up as a man or woman and do the better thing by asking those questions and
Right.
letting them vent. Help
Mhm,
validate, as you mentioned as well. Clarify,
mhm.
validate, and then move on with that. We
Yeah,
want to solve the
find what you
problem.
can validate. There's probably something in there that you can say, "Oh, I could see where you would think that," or
Yep.
I would imagine I'd feel that way too. And I think, yeah, back to the trust point, people buy when they trust you, when they're clear on what they're
Hmm.
getting, they're convinced the value's there, and they trust that you're the person for the job. And so a quick
Yeah.
way to kill trust in sales or in any client relationship, which you could say sales extends far past the contract being signed, and it
Oh yeah.
should, would be to be defensive and attack and assume you know everything. But a great way to build trust is, like you said, to do
Hmm.
less talking, more asking, more listening. I think
You got to
that's
be
a
a detective. You got to take off the Mike Tyson outfit. You got to put on the detective outfit, right?
Mhm.
You got to go in curious as ever, because you know what? Your
Yeah.
teams, your spouses, your customers, they all do things that you don't understand and
Yep.
never will understand, right? So
Mhm.
it's our goal of always setting, in sales specifically,
Yeah.
expectations. Because if we can set expectations at A and we can deliver expectations at A plus, everybody's happy. It's when we set expectations at A and we deliver C, B, B plus, and those expectations don't align, that's where we get conflict. So
Mhm.
we have to be extremely clear. I have a
Mhm.
saying that I like to say: the path to profit and loss is paved in expectations.
Mm. That's great.
Think
Yeah.
about that. It is
Yeah. I
all
agree.
expectations.
I
That is
agree.
one of the core parts of sales specifically, because sales
Yeah.
starts way, way, way out before they ever call you, and it lasts way, way, way after the project. It is
Yep.
the glue that holds all of this relationship
Mhm.
together. We're
Mhm.
not focused on revenue here. That is a byproduct, like my father taught me, of the relationship, the
Yeah.
value you bring first.